Hello, there we go. There we go. Now we're good to go. Maybe? Maybe? Is it not? There we go. Alrighty, another binge session today. So we went ahead and skipped out on yesterday and pushed it back to today instead so that we could actually stream the session. I am going to change a few things here. Probably pretty good. So let's update today's workout. And I would say generally things are feeling pretty good. So hopefully that will still be the case after today's session. Let's see. 75. Interesting. Okay. Alright, I'm on the wrong block. I am on the wrong block here. That sounds about right. Alright, so I'm going to update the workout for today here. And then I can look at the question. Trying to stay focused. Alright, today. So they're all feet up, close grip. One set of 5, 265 for the first ascending set. Top set, will probably be a range 275 to 280. And then 3 sets of 7, 230-ish. What's that thing that chiropractors do that look like a wrestling hold? Are you talking about, like, is it a neck adjustment specifically? Because I know some do where they kind of cross over and then like pull with their elbow. I'm not sure if I can think of anything else that would like kind of look like a wrestling hold. So you'll have to let me know. Oh, yeah. Right, so you have somebody put their hands like this, and then you'll get in between like that kind of space, and then you just kind of, you know, give them like a little nudge up like that. Yeah, I do that one actually on occasion. It is kind of a funny looking one though, for sure. Alright, so we're going to start our warm-ups off with 205. You've been in full Nelsons and your Chiro did that? Have I been in a full Nelson? I probably have at some point. I wrestled 1 year in high school. I think it was a year. So, I'm sure at some point, you know, especially starting out wrestling in high school, when I feel like, you know, wrestling is something that people like start so young and then continue on with. I'm sure, you know, I got schooled and I probably haven't put in a full Nelson, but not one that I, you know, specifically remember. All right, we'll go to 225 next. I feel like wrestling, you know, I tried a lot of sports in high school. I didn't get introduced to it a lot when I was super young. I feel like wrestling probably has got to be like the most difficult sport to try to pick up on in high school and like obviously excel at it. Definitely challenging. Today is speed up, which I kind of like started warming up as if it wasn't, so I need to swap. I'll probably just do the same weight, but you know, the right way. I was checking out the YouTube and I noticed like I use the YouTube royalty free channel, but then my live streams, my YouTube live streams still get shown up as like copyright, which is like not a big deal. It's not like I'm getting copyright flagged, but however it works with the views or the analytics, I think they like don't count. But I'm just so confused because I'm using YouTube royalty free, but then they're still getting, you know, copyrighted. It's like I might as well just play whatever music I want to listen to because like it gets copyrighted anyways. Kind of weird. Not sure I quite understand. Alright, we'll hit this set actually this time with the feet up. And a close grip. too bad. Alrighty, 225 down. Next, we'll load up to 45. Let me make sure if that is, yes, we oh, wait. Nice Friday evening here. We have been working on editing a nice YouTube video to revitalize the YouTube a bit in terms of like the long form content. So that is exciting. Forgot to post in the Discord that I went live, so just doing that real quick. Feeling pretty good today. Alrighty. So first ascending set here. We'll go ahead and just go up straight to it. 265. ready. Make sure I got everything pulled up here. There we go. So first set here, I think this was what our weight was for last week for the first set. So I'm sure it'll be pretty easy. Realistically, I think the 280 was what we did last time we ran this block. So I would prefer to match that weight. But I think we went a little bit lighter last week, so. We may just follow suit. Goal of this block is sort of like maintenance, and then also to clean up some of these aches and pains, since we are going to make, I would say, somewhat significant changes next block. So keep that in mind. Swapping up frequency, no more 3 times a week. We are going to go to 4 times a week. So that means we'll for sure have some sessions that are back-to-back days and just more overall stress on the upper body. So I don't want to go into it, you know, kind of already experiencing some pain when we're trying to add more onto it. So a little bit of, like, I would say a maintenance block would be a fair call. But I'm excited to get into it and mess around with it a little bit. I think at some point, you know, for power lifters, you will have to evaluate things or sort of compare and contrast yourself to other lifters. The reality of it is people that are really good at benching, they do it frequently, you know, 4 to 5 times a week. So of course you want to slowly work yourself up there, and especially, you know, equate it to like maybe where your fitness levels are specifically. You know, if you're a beginner, you don't want to jump into going, you know, benching 4 to 5 times a week, even as like intermediate. You know, once we start to get more advanced, the gains are starting to slow down, and then we got to make some changes somehow. I would say bench frequency is going to be huge. It was huge for me just going from 2 to 3 times. Alright, I know I hit the rack on a few of the racks, you know, maybe making it a little bit harder than it should have been. Still, you know, was heavier. So I think, especially since we had to postpone this workout, right? Usually it's on Thursdays. We couldn't stream yesterday. We pushed it back to today, but that also means we have another session tomorrow, back-to-back days. I'll probably just go more on that conservative weight selection and stick with 275. And then hopefully that following week we can get back in the swing of it. rather clean things up. I know there are like a few things form-wise that I have been trying to clean up as well, so make sure we got good reps going here. So 275 for 5, feet up, close grip. And today will probably be like the quick day, right? In terms of like what else we'll be doing besides the bench press. We probably will do like one back exercise still. And then like just kind of chill out. And then since we're doing another session tomorrow, we'll kind of backload tomorrow's session so that we're getting in all the work tomorrow. I think that's really the best way to do it, right? Like since I had to do these sessions back to back, and we're kind of rehabbing the elbow, even though it's been feeling pretty good now. I'd rather save things for that second day, right? Versus do too much the first day and then go into tomorrow's session with it like already being irritable. Because then at that point it's affecting, you know, my bench and how much maybe I'd be lifting tomorrow. I am a power lifter, so of course the most important, you know, the bread and butter of things are going to be squat, bench, and deadlift. So kind of want to make sure as a power lifter I'm setting up so that those always, of course, are going to feel the best. All right, here it goes. Nothing. 275 for 5. Make sure everything is working still. Yep, good. All right, let's get it. Alright, not too bad. Like I said, it's feeling a little bit heavier than I'd like it to be, but it's still within a reasonable range. So next week we'll push it, obviously, just a little bit heavier for that final week. Of course, today's just like a secondary day anyway, so I would say in terms of key performance days, today's not one of them, right? It's Tuesday session. That matters the most. Okay, so we'll go ahead and edit that so there's no confusion as to what we hit for today. And does that mean the weight on the back offs is 230 or 225? It means it gets dropped down to 225. Okay. 225. I should be pretty comfy, a pretty good RPE range. Does me rock. Though. And I think after the workout, I don't know. It's either gonna be maybe game stream, or I'm gonna plug along on finishing editing. Well, not finishing, probably, but continue working on editing this. Going to hopefully not have any issues trying to transfer it from my phone to my computer, because I know historically before I was getting into it, before I cut out a little bit on the YouTube posting, it would just always give me issues. Let's hope that's not the case. Alrighty, so now we have 225 here, these last 3 back off sets. So everything's nice and even. Good. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're more looking forward to next block. Bench, nothing too crazy. But definitely important part of the overall picture of things. Cleaning up some things and getting rid of some discomfort. Squat, yeah, it's just kind of squat. I would say maintenance for the most part. And we're just still pushing deadlift, so squat was going good, and it was something that I really, I kind of focused my attention on what I could improve in the meantime. And I've said it before, but deadlift was like my roller coaster lift for quite some time, and definitely had some discomfort with it. But now we've pretty much been chugging along on deadlift, so now the squat has taken a little bit of a backseat, but that's okay. In the grand scheme of things, of course I could program to where like everything's kind of consistent, But I kind of just don't want to change up my structure right now because like the deadlift gains have been crazy. So I'm kind of just like redoing, like just continuing to do this like macro cycle of like 3 to 4 blocks over and over because it's been working really good. And deadlift's my favorite lift at the end of the day. And I kind of want to deadlift 700 pounds. I think it's could potentially be possible by the end of the year, if not before then. So I am okay with, you know, some lifts being a little bit on the staler side because I'm glad to have my bread and butter lift back. All right, 3 sets of 7, and then that's our bench part of the workout for sure. I'm trying to think what we did on Tuesday for our back exercise. I think we did pull-ups. So today will most likely be some dumbbell rows. I said pretty comfortable there. Light work. Man, we got some fun stuff coming up soon too. Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out in a few weeks, so we'll definitely pick that up and we'll be playing that. Definitely. I know there's supposed to be a beta test for the solo leveling Arise mobile game, so I'm kind of curious. For the most part, most anime IPs that get adapted into mobile games end up being like cash grab, and they usually die out pretty quickly. But I will say the Black Clover one ended up, I think, doing a pretty good job. I'm still playing that one since launch, so I'm curious to see how the solo leveling one will be. I think the big benefit it has right now is just the overwhelming amount of hype that the anime has, and since that started, you can kind of almost like play along with the story. So we'll see how that one goes. I think there's a couple other gotchas coming pretty shortly too. For what it's worth. Definitely looking forward to Dragon's Dogma though. I think I've said it a few times, but really, like, not very many MMOs are on the market right now. It's kind of like a stale genre, and I think the ones that were anticipated are no longer anticipated. Because they haven't been doing well in other regions. So, we're just going to make the most out of it, and that might mean just spending more time exploring some gachas, some mobile games, and whatever single player games come along the way as well. Very hyped about Dragon's Dogma 2. And I'm waiting for my brother to finish up with the PS5 so I can play some Final Fantasy VII remake. I wish I could stream that, but I think you have to have a bunch of like additional technology to stream on the PS5. Alright. Yeah, elbow's been pretty good. Like I've kind of said the past couple of sessions, usually the most provocative lift for it would have been the close grip, feet up, and not even that has been bothering it. I will say, it's kind of a good thing that like this week I had to do back-to-back sessions, right? So today, and then we'll do another bench workout stream tomorrow. It's kind of like a test or a prep ahead of time, since I know when we change the bench frequency from 3 to 4 times a week, we will have to do some back-to-back days. So I think that if we're able to do it this week and not really be experiencing any symptoms or any pain, we're in a pretty good position for next block. I would say the elbow pain would definitely be like a thing of the past, at that point. Because I've had I've built up a couple sessions for sure that have been no discomfort whatsoever, and then a little bit of like the extra stress of doing it back-to-back days. We're looking pretty good. I think we're setting ourselves up pretty good for the next block at that point, which I thought it really would only take a block of really being maybe a little bit more conservative and smart to get the elbow back on track. We were really just trying to hold out until we hit that 365 PR. So, which, it never really spiked up super high anyways, like the elbow discomfort. So definitely gonna be interesting. Like I said, I think I've only really done like a 4 times a week bench frequency, like maybe for like a month's time, a long time ago. Probably when I didn't even like necessarily need it to make progress. But we're gonna change things up because I think in terms of like, I guess how long it kind of took me roughly to go from the 360 to 365, and even then, I kind of feel like I was spinning my wheels a little bit. Definitely need, I think, some type of change to at least maybe try out. to accelerate to 385. Road to 365 is done now, so now it's just the road to 385, and then, you know, after that it'll just be, I guess, 405. So now if I hit 385, you know, with that next goal, and it'll finally be that 2 times body weight bench press that I've been trying to go for. You know, obviously I've been at a lot of different body weights throughout lifting and powerlifting, but could never quite get that 2 times body weight bench press. I always kind of came up close to it, but always felt a little bit short. So I think we're at a pretty good body weight in the long term to compete at. You know, it's been a while since I've competed, but with things going pretty good and training being consistent, it's definitely something I've been considering in the near future. All right, last set here. Alright. And that is it for the bench press. So now we got some dumbbell rows. And like I said, not a ton of accessory work today since we do have to do another bench session tomorrow. And of course, if we have any new viewers, feel free to ask any questions. No silly questions here, so definitely an environment for all. Alright. I think I did pull-ups on Tuesday's session. For some reason I'm wanting to second guess myself and thinking that like maybe I did dumbbell rows that day. I'm pretty sure it was pull-ups though. There we go. So 2 more sets of the rows. All right. So yeah, I think deadlifts this week. We're hoping that they pop off again. Sunday we hit 545 for previously, you know, our best 4 rep max 595. So I think if we do like 575 for this week, the 545 for 4 was pretty easy. 575 for 4, that should give us enough wiggle room, as long as we're feeling even better week 4 to maybe chip the previous PR with like a 600 for 4. Maybe more though. 605 I would be pretty content with. 610, if we're feeling really good, I think it's there. 610 for 4 would be pretty awesome. I think that was our previous 3 rep max. I think the last time I had the 3 rep, no, maybe it was 615. Let's take a look at that. Even if it is a little bit of a gap from my 3 rep max, you just gotta keep in mind sometimes some people are better off at certain rep ranges, right? There's gonna be some individualism with some of that stuff. Like I would say I suck at like rep maximum effort rep work, anything higher than, honestly, anything higher than 2 I feel like I suck at. 4 I feel like I'm not super great at. For whatever reasons that might be. Alright. Let's get a chat. One more set. Oh no, I dropped my. Not you, bud. Wake up. One more set. Just getting a nice workout in on this Friday evening. And then tomorrow's workout stream Should be a bit more in the late afternoon. I think it probably 12:30ish CST is when we'll get it in. It's been nice getting it in a little bit earlier. Bama Zaddy, welcome in. Thanks for the follow, really appreciate it. Yeah, welcome in for all things fitness, specifically powerlifting, rehab, pain, injury related, and maybe sort of the combination of those things. And the occasional gaming stream, whatever has been piquing my interest at the time. I would say a variety, but you know, I like my fair share of MMOs. Unfortunately, there just hasn't been any. Some gotchas, some mobile games, and whatever else. That's crazy to think about how, like, my follow sound alert is like the Goku thing. You know, with the passing of the creator of Dragon Ball Z, it's crazy. We're gonna do 1 or 2 more reps extra just because of that. For him. Whew. Damn, I'm fit. Great stream. Appreciate that, sir. Been at it for quite some time. Okay, so that was our 3rd set there. We try to do what we can to improve the overall stream experience too. Yeah, you know, I think that's just like a powerlifting thing, right? Just stuff that kind of gets worked indirectly a lot of the time. But yeah, of course, you know, new viewers, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for the stream or any topics, feel free to drop them in the chat ever. They are a welcome. Honestly, I think the big one really is my forearms. Like, out of everything, I just think they're probably the craziest out of everything. Forearm and back, I would say. Now, just to preface, can't necessarily give specific, medical advice as a disclaimer, but just generally talking about these topics, these subjects, what they are, what they aren't, I think is definitely on the tables. You're lightheaded and they're telling you it's because mild disc degeneration. I would be hard pressed to say that, mild disc degeneration should not be a welcome cause for lightheadedness. Yeah, no, I totally get that, but it's just like, on my end, I just have to always give those types of disclaimers for sure. But yeah, like, just some cervical disc degeneration. I'm not quite sure I would ever be convinced that would be the cause of lightheadedness in specific. Unfortunately, well, I will preface this by saying, like, of course, those types of symptoms aren't something that, I typically deal with. Therefore, I wouldn't necessarily call myself an expert with them. But I will just say, in general, unfortunately, there's just a lot of poor healthcare that goes on out there. And there's, like, a lot of misinformation, so... Yeah, I'm sorry to hear you've been dealing with that. For sure, I would just, continue to try to, maybe find someone else that could potentially be an expert in that stuff. Let's see here. I mean, has anybody considered anything like, let me see here. BPPV, right? So benign paroxysmal positional vertigo is kind of like what I would say is the most common, especially if we kind of look at like population and specific demographics. If you're sort of like on the younger age of things, like 20 to 30, it's pretty highly unlikely that it's some other things, but I would say what I was just mentioning, the benign paroxysmal positional vertigo, is probably the most likely, but yeah, because I mean, realistically, if it is that, then there's just sort of like a maneuver that they do with your head that will typically resolve it if it is that. So, which a lot of different people can do that, right? Physical therapists are trained, in some capacity to do that. Chiropractors, doctors. Oh, okay. So it sounds like you got some imaging, even like a brain MRI, and there was nothing there. Yeah. Yeah. Man, you're seeing a specialist and everything, and they can't come up with some answers for you. Surely they didn't, like, of course, overlook or glance over something just as simple as PPV. I'm hoping. He said it was due to high blood pressure. Okay, well, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like want to pry or like have you disclose personal, medical history, but yeah, I'll just say, keep trying, and maybe you just have to maybe seek out a different specialist. But keep me updated, and hopefully you get some clarity on the issue there. For sure. I would have to think that like blood pressure would really have to be up there for that to be, much of a consideration too. But like I said, I'm not necessarily an expert on that type of stuff, but just thinking like critically, I feel like it'd have to be really up there for them to say that is the sole cause of it. Okay, so we have our first warm-up weight ready for tomorrow's bench session. Everything else is pretty cleaned up. Oh, 110/75. I would not say it's high blood pressure. I don't know. Are they documenting something different? Like, because I'm sure they took it, at the office. Of course, I mean, they have to consider there's, such thing as the white coat hypertension too, right? Like when you go into the doctor's office, it could be higher than like usual. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, hopefully, it sounds like you have a follow-up. Hopefully, they're considering some other things, or they can actually figure things out. And it sounds like they're just not maybe necessarily validating your experiences. So, I think at a base level, all medical providers would be able to at least validate what somebody is coming in for and not like write it off. Edusin, welcome in. Thanks for the follow, really appreciate that. The channel is basically all things fitness, specifically powerlifting, rehab, pain, injury related, and the occasional gaming stream. Yeah, man, just imagine if you were in the medical community. Although I'd say somewhat I am as a chiropractor. But healthcare is just it's a messy place to be in, I would say. For a lot of different reasons. Forearm pain back. We're hoping to actually just kind of fill out a little bit more for the summer. Maybe go back to getting some ab definition. It's been quite some time. But appreciate the compliments. Like I said, feel free to follow up. Let me know, how those things pan out. Yeah, I've been at it for quite some time, 10 plus years in the making for sure, and I wouldn't say like by any means for the amount of time I've been working out it's anything out of the ordinary, super duper impressive. No worries at all. Sometimes it's good to, get that stuff off your chest. All right. If we have any other follow-up questions, comments, suggestions, drop them in the chat. And obviously we've kind of been done and just chatting here for a little while now. We will wrap things up, and I will probably make a quick split decision on whether I do a game stream after this or I finish up editing some content. Of course, if you are in the Discord, then I like to obviously post in there, you know, whether I plan on doing like a stream specifically. Let me go ahead and get the link for that. I need to set up a command I have yet to do. I'll post it here in just 1 second. I need to fine-tune some processes here. Alright, where is invite? Copy link. So not a super duper giga Discord by any means, but there is the link. I mean, like, I know, I'm sure some of you guys have been in, like, streamer Discords, and they're, like, completely decked out. We haven't quite gotten there yet. Just pretty simple. Just a way for me to be able to, you know, connect outside of the Twitch stream, and then, of course, give notifications, updates on specific things. Yeah, so we'll see about, you know, whether, you know, what I do kind of for the rest of the night. But that is the workout stream for today. I have tomorrow planned out for workout stream around 12:30 CST. And that's when I'll see you guys next for another bench workout. Peace. Thanks for the follows and the support and the chatting for today. Really appreciate that. Glad to get some new people in. And feel free to drop in.